check it to wreck it, and let's begin. It's time to get down to the beatdown. This is indeed the Logan Summit Show! And I am, of course, Logan Summit, I'm your host. And you know what? I'm not the guy who brought the potato salad with the raisins in it. I look like that guy, but I'm not that guy. I didn't do it. Today's show is brought to you by Newer. If you're a pro or amateur content creator, it doesn't matter. Go over to newer.com, use code Logan. You'll save yourself 20% off. And right now, we could all use a little bit of that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do in our back pockets. And yes, you can find that link in this description. All right, here we go. We've got an MMA fighter. He's a kickboxer. I'm sure he likes to fish, and he's a beard aficionado. And look at that coif. He's got some hair on there as well. His name is Nate Huitt. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I am absolutely fantastic. And you're waking up over there in Tennessee. How's Tennessee treating you today?
Oh, it's beautiful, man. The weather's finally nice. Hopefully it stays like this for a little bit.
Yeah, don't say it too loud. Well, I'm
I'm
over here in Viva Las Vegas, and it's gorgeous today. It's a nice 74 outside. I won't say that too loud, or it'll immediately go to 140 degrees. But I live in Death Valley. They called it that for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Now, you're 27 years old. You're a lightweight. Well, I've never been outside of here with you, so I don't know how you do over at the bars or whatever, but you're a lightweight in the weight class competitor, and you're a 1-0-0 in MMA, but you are 2-1 in kickboxing. You will be fighting top 10 promotions. It's a Muay Thai and kickboxing competition on June 20th, and you'll be fighting Alan Esparza. Now, how do you feel about your kickboxing as comparative to your MMA skills?
I started more so boxing when I was younger and then transitioned to MMA, I think when I was 21. But I never could really, I enjoyed it, but I couldn't really grasp things watching film with grappling and all that. And I didn't really care for wrestling, which oddly enough, I won my MMA fight by sub, but I just never really cared for it. I
Yeah,
really
you
like the
you
striking
did.
aspect.
Is that Daniel Wheeler that you choked out in the second round that you're referring to?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Daniel Wheeler won't forget that. Now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you never. I just got choked out the other day in my kitchen, and I won't forget that too soon either. Are there any now? So you enjoy kickboxing more, is what it comes down to, and
Oh,
that's
for
what you want to
sure.
train in. So that's going to be your focus moving on is kickboxing as opposed to MMA.
I'm sorry, I lost that last part. Hang on, let
No,
me
that's
move
okay.
on.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties today. Look, technology is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. All right. No, I was just saying, so for the future, moving forward, you're going to concentrate on Muay Thai and kickboxing as opposed to the MMA?
Oh, for sure. That's all I've done for the past. I guess since I moved to Ohio, probably maybe a little over 3 years ago, and then moved back.
Mhm.
But basically, when I got there, I started just doing Muay Thai because within maybe half a year, I was helping with the kids' classes, and then the other classes, within like a year, I would help with like the beginners. And so most of the time I was teaching if I wasn't training, or I'd do it before and then after.
How
So
has
it was all
teaching
kind of
helped
evolved.
you? Yeah, no, I get it. I completely understand. But how has teaching helped you inside and outside the ring as well? I hear a lot of MMA fighters and kickboxers and the like combat sports enthusiasts, if you will, get a really great opportunity to teach, and they wind up learning a lot about themselves through teaching these kids. Do you feel that way?
Oh, 100%. And it helps you kind of, especially with the patience and the mind, in my opinion. I had a really good coach in Ohio as far as like, he was from the Philippines, so he had that Eastern culture, and he really reflected on it by, emphasizes on like putting the good energies out. But I feel like just being able to kind of see where someone's at and like what benefits them more, whereas compared to like other people, not everyone responds the same, but it also reiterates technique and you get all the extra reps with the simple things, and it's just constant development.
Now, you said you moved to Ohio for a little bit. I was born in Ohio. I never go back for obvious reasons.
No,
But you said you had a good training coach over there. Why did you move back to Tennessee? Was it to get back to the home and be around your family and whatnot, or was it professional reasons?
for sure. The only reason I moved there was originally I was living in Nashville. My parents were here in Lewisburg, and my dad got offered a good opportunity. And so I was like, well, I'll figure it out. And that way I can stay close to them because I didn't do anything outside of work and training, anyways. And then when my mom got homesick, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll figure this back out again. And here we are.
And here you are back in Tennessee. Now, have you had an opportunity to check out any of Alan Esparza's tape, whom you will be fighting on June 20th with Top 10 Promotions? It's going to be a Muay Thai and kickboxing fiesta. But have you got to see any tape on them? Do you know what you're looking for when you get in that ring, what you're going to be able to exploit?
I mean, yeah, I've watched film on him, and I mean, dude, he's coming from that Mexican heritage. They're warriors. I mean, it's gonna be a
Mm.
dogfight regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but I mean, everyone is different. Every fight's different. Anything happen. Um, yeah, I might watch a few tendencies, but I'm not gonna focus more on him rather than myself. I mean, at
Right.
the end of the day, it's not about fighting his fight; it's gonna be mine. So just kind of constant improvement for myself. And then, if there's keyholes that are there and they're glaring, I'll take it. But it's really more so I'm not going in there with, I'm going to do this. It's just whatever's there, go from there.
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of up and coming fighters recently, and a lot of fighters don't focus on the actual opponent as much as they do focus on exactly what they need to do in the gym, as opposed to what their opponent will do in the ring. And a lot of their trainers, I had a couple fighters go, I don't even know who I'm fighting. My trainers don't tell me because I got to do what I need to do in the gym. How do you feel about that? Is there a happy medium to that, or do you believe in looking at your opponent first and then moving that into your training camp, or does it not matter because it's all about you at the end of the day?
A little bit of both. I think you kind of hit it right on the head when you said happy medium. Like, I like to know like little things as far as like, I mean, I don't really care if he's Orthodox or Southpaw. I know a lot of people are big on that, but I mean, I swap without even realizing it so much that it's just, I'd more so rather know as far as like, okay, is this dude 6'3" or is this guy 5'7"? You know what I mean? And then what's his build? How's his cardio seem? How's he prepping? Is he explosive? Is he more of like a high volume endurance? Little things like that. But yeah, I definitely prefer to know the name. I know I've been around a bunch of gyms that are like that, but uh, at the end of the day, it really is just another body.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, everybody's got a puncher's chance, but around here we always say there is no such thing as luck. There's a thing called preparation that makes luck happen. You get in there and they'll be, oh, he knocked him out. What a lucky punch. No, the years of training got them to the point where they're able to throw what you would consider a lucky punch. There's nothing lucky about it. I don't step in the ring without training and knock you out. That doesn't happen. It's called preparation, and preparation meets up with opportunity, and it creates what people on the outside view as luck. I don't
For
see it
sure.
that way, right? I mean, come on, let's be
Accuracy,
honest here.
accuracy wins.
Yes, every single time. And the funny part about it is fighters always tell me that the closest thing that they can say to punching, getting that clean knockout is hitting a home run because you don't feel it. You threw the
at
punch,
all.
you're like, yeah, that's not going to do. Oh, he's on the ground. Oh, hey,
Yes,
we
it
got a standing
really
eight count.
is.
Oh, hey,
I
explain to me
remember when
what that feeling. Yeah, go ahead.
I landed a right on dude. I just knocked him down. He got up from his count, and then I threw a right that had already dropped him. But in the process of him dropping, I was still throwing a left hook, just because it. I mean, it really does. It just happens so quick.
Well, it's always a good feeling. I'm sure it's probably shocking the first time that you hit somebody clean and they're down on the ground. You're just like, oh, hey, yeah, go me. All right, I'll get my corner. I got
Nice.
this. Got
Yeah.
this. All right, right. I love it whenever I do USA boxing commentating. Uh, there's first time a kid knocks somebody down, you can tell if it's their first time because they don't know what to do with themselves. They're sitting there like, oh, hey, no, oh, yeah, you can't start counting until all right, hold on. Let me get over in my corner
Gotcha.
over there.
Gotcha.
You do you.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got a lot of tattoos. Do you get tattoos to commemorate fighting accomplishments?
No, but that's a solid idea. Honestly, I got most of these when I was less than intelligent teen. uh,
All right.
I was I was sleazed up by my senior year, I think.
Oh boy, how did the parents feel about that?
They definitely felt a certain type of way. They weren't the biggest fans.
I'm sure they were. All right, what is your least favorite tattoo? If I was going to give you $500 to go get one of those tattoos lasered off, which one is it going to be?
Let me see if it'll load. Oh, hang on. None of this red, and then I think this says king in Japanese, but for all I know, it could say taco. So,
Yeah, it could
you
say
know,
whatever.
I
You don't
mean,
know.
yeah, I wasn't very bright. That's why I've been sober for like the past half decade.
All right. Well, there you go. Congratulations about that, by the way. And I'm sure it helps with your focus, and I'm sure it helps with your weight training. How are you doing on weight? Do you have to cut, or are you just walk around?
I don't like to cut a lot of weight. Like I woke up and I wasn't even really that content with my weight today, but that's just because I took an off day Sunday for the first time in like a week and a half. My coach was on me, so I was like, "All right, fine. It's Mother's Day." Um, I think I was like 9 and some change away from fight weight
All
today.
right.
Well,
Well, you
that's
still got
semi
some
heavy.
time. Yeah, you
Yeah.
still got some time. Do you go through some drastic weight cuts? You said you like to cut a lot of weight. Do you have a
No,
system in
I
place
don't. I
that
don't
is
like to.
really?
No, no, I don't. I
Well,
stay
no one likes
around
cutting weight,
10
but I mean,
pounds.
10 pounds. All right. So that's not terrible. I mean, there's fighters out there that are cutting major weight that I just don't understand. Most weight I ever had to cut back when I wrestled was 14 pounds. And I'll tell you this, I have never enjoyed running around a room with the temperature gauge pulled all the way up while wearing three different sweatpants and trash bags around me with duct tape. There's nothing fun about that. And when you see those dudes in the saunas and they look like they're about to die, it's because they kind of are. Major weight cuts are super taxing on your body, and they're just not healthy for you. And I really feel with a lot of these fighters that go up and down, I wonder how that will affect them later on in life. Uh, so I get it. 10 pounds, you know what? That's a solid weight cut right there. And you have until June 20th when you will be fighting for top 10 promotions, kickboxing all the way, baby. And you will be going against Alan Esparza. Hopefully Alan has some great tattoos as well, and you can compare notes after the match. Speaking of the match, I need a prediction from you. I know you're not going to say you're going to lose because no one comes into a fight with a defeatist attitude because that's not a fighter's mentality. But I need to know, how are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? Talk to me.
I don't know, man. I think it'll be a good. I think he'll make it at least to the third round. I kind of feel like I can wilt him. I'm not gonna put words in my mouth. I'm not gonna say anything disrespectful. But I don't know if he's ever been hit by anybody like me. Not being arrogant. Uh, I think it'll be a good fight. I really do. I'm
Well,
preparing for the best version of him. Yeah, I'm not big on trash talk and all that, or saying I think I'm going to knock this guy out. I'm going to prepare for 5 rounds. If it gets done before that, it gets done before that. But
well, like Dana White always says, don't leave it in the judge's hands, but you will be the hometown favorite. So you might have something going for you there. All right. Well, before we get to 5 questions, this is your time. I want you to take this time to talk about whatever you want, your favorite movie, favorite video game, your sponsors, your coaches, your mom, your dad, sponsors that you want to get. Whatever you want to talk about, this is your time.
I mean, I'm honestly pretty simple. I've actually had a couple of sponsors reach out. As Elite something. They had a good following on Instagram, Elite Sports, or I just honestly, I work 10-hour shifts, and then as soon as I leave, I go train. Whether I'm going to Chapel Hill, I'm going to Spring Hill, I'm going to Nashville. I'm trying to get some work in wherever I can, and then outside of that, I'm asleep. I like to cook because I don't like eating other people's food. I like to eat clean. Uh, yeah, I don't do a whole lot, man. I don't have a whole lot of time. Mostly just train. And as far as outside of that, I see my family. I don't really even see my friends much during camp. I try to stay away from everything and just focus on myself, get everything right, uh, good mental frame. I, it's pretty cut and dry. I really don't do a whole lot. Uh, Train, it keeps me level headed.
All right, fair enough. Well, what's your favorite dish to cook?
Man, I make steak at least 3 to 4 times a week. Easy.
Now, my
Steak and
my buddy
eggs.
overt my buddy overt flow loves the steak. He recently switched over from cow to bison. How do you feel about them apples?
Oh, yes. It's just hard to find bison, man. You got to order it. Or at least where
Yeah,
I'm at.
unless you live in
But yeah,
yeah, unless you live
I,
in Wyoming or Nebraska.
you can find some ground bison, but as far as the bison steak, it's hard. But yeah, I like it. It's a little chewier, and you got to make it a little bit more pink, in my opinion. But it's good stuff.
It is, and it's very good for you. Ted Turner actually owns bison ranches and has a restaurant called Ted's Montana Grill that doesn't serve cow; it only serves bison.
Now I might have to order me some elk soon though. I do want to try
Oh,
that.
elk! Yeah, yo, elk's good, man. Elk's good. Venison's good. All that stuff is good, bro. And you know what? It's good for training. Red meat and don't be scared of salt. These days, everybody's telling you to stay away from salt. Bobby Maximus says salt provides flavor and it's natural. It's always good for you. Okay. Well, don't put too much of it on there, but you
Ah,
get it. Every, you know, how do you
yeah,
feel about
especially.
seasoning?
I mean, I definitely gotta have some seasoning. But I mean, with as much as I train, as long as I don't just go overboard with sodium, I'm okay. I mean, but yeah, no, I definitely gotta have some seasoning for sure.
How do you feel? How do you feel about fish? Do you throw fish into your diet?
Catfish,
Yeah, there you
salmon,
go. Hmm.
catfish and salmon mostly. I was on a little
Yeah.
tuna steak kick, and then I got food poisoning, and I was like, "Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool on
I'm sorry.
this."
No, I'm sorry. That's terrible. There's nothing good about food poisoning ever. Blame it on the tuna. Chicken of the sea
Yeah,
did you dirty right there. Somewhere
yeah.
Jessica Simpson's like, what? Huh? What? All right. That's an old joke, but a goodie. All right, let's get to it. This is the time where we play the game that all the kids are talking about on the playgrounds, and none of the adults really care about it. It's called 5 Questions. And yes, Nate, is exactly what it sounds like. All right. It is brought to you by Newhouse. If you're sitting in a gaming chair right now, you're doing yourself a disservice. I want you to go over to newhouse.com. I want you to use code Logan Radio Rocks. It's going to save you that money on all of your office decor, your home decor. You're going to find a good place for your butt to sit. Trust me, your butt will thank you, and I will thank you, and you will be super stoked with all the furniture that you grab. Newhouse.com. You can check out a link right here in the description. All right, question number one to Nate Huitt. All right. Yo, what's the coolest thing to do in Nashville? What's the one thing you always got to go do when you visit Nashville?
Man, I worked security on Broadway for the longest, so I got burnt out of it really quick. Um, they got some good food. I'll say that. I guess if you're a tourist and you never been, hit up Broadway just because that's what everyone does. But honestly, it's not my scene at all.
Yeah, it's a little
Uh,
crazy down there, I hear from time to time.
yeah, you couldn't pay me to go back.
Ooh,
I did live in Hendersonville outside of it though, and
okay.
I lived right on the water, and that was really nice. So
And
if
you said
that
you did
counts, that's what I'd pick.
and you did security down there. All right. Give me your craziest security Nashville story, please.
Oh God, we had this guy who was pretty messed up, and he was kind of putting hands on one of the cops that worked at the bar with us, and like little stuff. And I was like, we were hands off, so I was like, I can't really do anything, and the cops right there. And I was like, okay, maybe this is turning into something. And he almost pushes him through one of our windows that was open where the band plays. And so I dropped him. And I was like, oh shit, I'm about to get fired. And then he went to get up and I dropped him again. And I was like, oh, now I'm really getting fired.
Yeah,
And
you doubled down.
so I just held him there and everything worked out. But man, that was the oddest situation because I was just watching the cop, and it's like he was just kind of letting it happen. And I don't know. It was a scene, and then I guess an even better one. I was introducing somebody when I was head of security. I was walking him around after I hired him in Midtown. I watched somebody get ran over, and then ran back over and drove away. And yeah, that's how one dude was introduced to the job as I was showing
Yeah.
him around.
Well, I mean, to back up and do it again, you got to really be in somebody's bad graces for the reversal on that. Wow, that's absolutely crazy. All right, well, I know which one you're going to say, but I got to ask you this anyways. Uh, let's go back to your time in MMA. Which do you feel in the combat sports arena overall? Not talking about MMA, kickboxing, whatever. Let's just take combat sports overall. Which do you think is more important to success? Stand up or your ground game submissions and BJJ?
In MMA.
Or just in combat sports overall, as you were learning, right? Which do you think is more important skill? Have you seen people be able to get away with just hands and no ground, or vice versa?
I feel like you can see people get away more so with grappling in MMA at like a lower level, and like maybe a regional level in pros. I feel like striking is probably, I don't want to say easier by any means, but you can kind of pick it up quicker than a lot of the people who started wrestling at like a younger age.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's really like how hard you're willing to work and the time you're willing to put into it. But I feel like a lot of grappling based people do have somewhat of an advantage quicker than maybe striking, as much as that burns me to say.
Hey, sorry about that. But you know what? For years and years, they've always said wrestling is such a great base to bring into the MMA arena. So I get that. I totally get that. All right,
because it'll
question
set
number
it up.
3. What? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say because it just sets up your striking. You don't even have to be a great striker
Yeah,
if you got good wrestling.
yeah, because everybody's looking for that takedown. I get it. All right. Question number 3. Who is your mentor and what have they taught you?
I'd have to go back to my coach in Ohio to be honest. Manuel Tanico. He was Joe Schilling's coach before he was Joe Schilling, and
Yeah.
taught a lot of really high level fighters. But he really helped me a lot with my mind and did a lot for me. And I mean, my only loss, I went into that fight. I had a fractured foot 6 weeks out and had to lidocaine my foot to even compete, to step on the scales. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't. I mean, I would have fought, but he helped me a lot as far as like working around the camp. Like I wasn't able to run at all. I wasn't able to do anything. I had no really good movement. Um, and I still think it was as close of a fight as you can get. I'm not gonna say, robbery or anything, but it was a damn good fight. Chased the finish in the first because I knew I wasn't gonna have the conditioning going into the later rounds. Almost had him out of there, but I mean, it is what it is.
How's your conditioning this time around?
You'll see.
Good answer. All right, I was going to ask you because you're down there in Tennessee. I was going to ask you about whiskey, but I'm a big proponent of you being clean and free for 6 years. Congratulations on that. So I will ask you after the fight is done, you've got a day of rest. Generally, fighters, even fighters who are mechanical in the gym, usually take at least one day. What are you going to do on that day? What do you eat? What do you do? How do you spend the days off right after a fight?
I get fat for a day or two for sure.
That's awesome. All right, so what's the first food you're going to grab from the pantry?
Usually after every fight, I go to Waffle House.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Hell yeah, you go to Waffle House. Oh man, Waffle House, so good. I could go for Waffle House right now, man. Oh. I used to have a house in Marietta,
Right.
Georgia. Oh,
Oh
Waffle
yeah,
House. All right, June 21st, I'll meet you at a Waffle House in Nashville, Tennessee. Off
sounds like a
Broadway, of
plan.
course. Yeah, off Broadway. We're not going to
For
Broadway.
sure, for sure.
All right, last question of 5 questions. And this goes in the ring and outside of the ring. Either way, I don't care how you answer it. It's up to you. What's one thing that you wish you did better?
In which aspect? Fighting or in
No,
life?
that's what I said. It doesn't matter.
I
Either
wish
way.
I understood overtraining. Like I've got the one negative from my coach in Ohio is I never was able to give myself a rest. It was always go, go, go. And then it was a lot of hard sparring. And so I've kind of I almost feel programmed. So like when I do take a rest day, I get so in my head that it's more so stressful than resting.
You get anxious when you're not in the gym, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's kind of hard for me to come to terms with that. Like I don't this really helped me save me from myself at my younger years. So when I'm not doing it, I just feel uneasy.
I understand that. I get that. That anxiety comes from what if they're doing something I'm not right now.
Exactly.
I can completely understand that. Let me give you something that Derek Jeter said, and maybe this will help give you a little bit of perspective. And it's not so much because baseball players don't really talk about their off days or whatever, but this was something that Derek Jeter said once. He said, "My biggest regret of my entire career was never being able to stop down and appreciate the victories." He goes, he was always thinking about what's next. And he never stopped to say, hey, I just did this. I just did that. Let's appreciate that. Let's take a moment to understand the gravity of that and all of the work that I put in to get there. And now that he looks back on his career, he wishes that he was able to step away from himself a little bit and see the victories that he has. So you know what obviously overtraining is something that you're working on, but at the very least, take a word of advice from Derek Jeter and take moments to appreciate the victories so that when you move on and you get to be my age around 46, you're not looking back in your life going, man, I wish I would have, because that's what creates midlife crises, and you'll end up buying a Corvette for way too much money and you'll just be super unhappy about it. All right. This is, of course, Nate Huitt. I don't have a nickname for you yet. I've given some fighters nicknames over the past week, but you, my friend, I am not going to be able to find one for you in a moment's time. But next time we get together, I'll have one for you. So tell your coaching team, if they haven't nicknamed you by then, I got you covered, my friend.
Yes,
Nate
sir.
will be fighting Alan Esparza at Top 10 Promotions in Tennessee, on June 20th. It's going to be a Muay Thai kickboxing festival of fisticuffs and flying kicks. It's going to be bad. I'm just joking. You can say ass all you want. So you need to check it out. It will be available right here on millions.co, and it's happening on June 20th. Hey, Nate, I appreciate you being here, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck as you step in that squared circle. And for you two at home, we're just getting started today. I got 4 more interviews coming up. I know, buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but I appreciate you. And do me a favor until I see you in, I don't know, about a half an hour, 20 minutes. Be good to yourself and be kind to others. Pay it forward, play it forward. Rock like a party star, party like a rock star. Smile strong, laugh loud. Last but not least, please like, follow, and subscribe so you'll know when I'll be back. And Nate, always remember, everybody loves a good fight. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.